Well, wait until you see what I've got in store for you on this episode. You're going to love this one. Anyway, right, we'll crack on then, yeah? Shall we?
Well, I'm nervous now.
Sorry. Right, okay.
It's that laugh that does it. Do you know that?
I feel I need a notepad.
Well, my laugh, the nervous laugh. It's like The Simpsons, isn't it? Okay, ready? Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to... Oh, shit. I've done it again, haven't I? There we go.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome along... Wait, I should be doing this, really. I should know this off by heart, shouldn't I? Here we go.
Well, I think make it up. I think as long as it's vaguely... Like, for me, this should all be in the final edit.
Yeah, we'll put that in there then. All right, well, look, guys, welcome along to the Three Men in Podcast, the podcast where three men share their views and experiences around one main topic, and that topic this week is, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, wow, I love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
I picked this for a reason, because we were sharing recently about dreams and what we wanted to do, and Matt was talking about skateboarding and guitar and stuff like that, and I thought, well, let's talk about it. What do we want to do when we grow up? So we'll talk about present now, but also about as younger kids when we were young. I'm still young. I'm not 42. But anyway, what do you want to be when we grow up? So Alan, Matt, take it away. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Matt, do you mind going first? Because I have a technical issue. I've just paused the recording of my voice and I need to write down where I paused it for how long. So...
Well, we can start again, Alan, if you want.
No,
because I messed up the intro word anyway.
No, I quite like all this. Right, Matt, tell us about when you grow up.
So when I grow up, do you know what? I've had many dreams over the last years. We're not talking properly today, are we? Like, what is last year's? Over the last few years, I have had many dreams. I've wanted to be a radio presenter. I've wanted to be a superstar DJ, international superstar DJ. I've wanted to be an influencer. Hello.
I'm sorry, but I just keep thinking of Kevin and Perry now when you say international superstar DJ.
One of my favourite films of all time, Kevin and Perry Go Large.
I was watching the clip with Eyeball Paul when he was snorting vodka or putting up vodka in his
eye.
Yeah, love that film.
I was watching that the other day. So I think now I just want to. It sounds really boring, but I think when you turn 40, you just want to just live a life which is sustainable and just get through and maybe make it to 50 without dying. We're going back to episode 4 now.
I know. I kind of say Ricky nodded then for listeners. Ricky nodded at that after foot. Ricky, we've got 10 years on you, mate. You should still be going, I want to be 007 and I want to be this, you know. That. Can I just say, when I was younger, interestingly, Matt, a couple of the ones you said, I think we're more aligned than we sometimes realise. When I was younger, I wanted to be either James Bond or a Radio 1 DJ. That was it. That's what I wanted to be when I was older. And obviously, I'm neither of them, you know. But I did actually apply to go on a Radio 1 internship around, I think it was around 2000. Didn't get in. But there we go. That's
obviously.
but then, right. The other thing is, so this radio DJ thing. I mean, I don't know if it comes across with my style and confidence. I've no idea. But this radio DJ thing's never left me. And about 3 years ago, local BBC Radio Solent had open auditions, and I went and applied for that as well. And I didn't get in. So
that's interesting.
I can top trump you on that though, Alan, because I have presented radio. Mm-hmm. I've presented radio for Forces Radio, and then when I left Forces Radio, so this is I think I might have told this on a previous podcast.
You did mention FBS before, so yeah, but not to this extent. Yeah.
But then when I left the army, or when I came back from the Falklands, which is where I did 8 months just presenting radio, I was doing the breakfast show, I was doing the Sunday breakfast and all that type of stuff. I came back and I applied for a job at Power FM, and I got the job. And I was presenting on Power FM, which is now Capital FM in the south. I was presenting it on a Saturday night between 2 and 4. That had its own problems. Because as a mid-20s man, I liked beer. And I said that on the trailer. And I got fired for being drunk when I turned up to a show drunk.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I think you need to be a bit bigger. I think you need to be Chris Moyles and Chris Evans to be able to turn up to work drunk, I think.
Yeah, it was because I put on I think I put on a 12-minute mix and just went for a little one.
Mixing of your drinks, was that, Matt? Or
yeah, that's what did it for me. So I managed to fulfil my dream of being a radio DJ, and I've applied for radio jobs before. However, I lost that dream just by being an idiot.
Right, so
radio DJ.
Here's my question then. So if because the question was, what do you want to be when you're older or grow up, right? Well, we need to come back to grow up, because someone asked this yesterday in a Facebook group I'm in. Ben Drury, Culture Guy, did. I now agree with you, Matt, that now I'm 42, I basically want world peace and happiness, right? Pretty much. But that like, and fun with my family. That's basically all I really want. But there is this line between, I now don't want to be a radio DJ, but I do believe you can still fulfill that by YouTube, podcasts, and everything else. So why do things like radio DJ still, like, I'll tell you what, Mr. Beast is the best example of this in the world, in the entire world right now, okay? So Helen Skelton, ex-Blue Peter presenter, on TV, this, that, deemed as loosely famous in the UK for the sake of this conversation, right? I went to her Instagram.
She's got wonderful teeth.
She does have fantastic teeth. I went to her Instagram and she's got like 150,000 followers. Now, I'm not saying this is the be all and end all, but I think you have to put an element of perspective in there, right? So she's got 150,000 followers, and she has what we deem a black and white UK media career, right? Mr. Beast, 40 million subscribers on YouTube, 30 million are here, 30 million over there. And even if they're the same, right, that's still a lot. So it comes back to this. Why do we still put things like being a radio DJ on a pedestal when really you can just go and do it yourself nowadays? We live in this world where, it's like, I don't know, this will be sometime late June, early July, you'll be listening to this, but it was the Brits this week, and Little Mix did this speech about the industry and this and that. And whereas we live in a world now where you can put something out on TikTok and go to number one. So why do we still have the charts and radio DJ and TV presenter, these things still on this pedestal? Why are they on a pedestal in a world where you can just do what you want?
It's interesting, that, isn't it? Well, the natural path is gone. Like you said, that hierarchy of being a radio DJ in the old world, the old world would be lots of steps that you'd have to take. And like you said, now there's kind of like a diversion, isn't there, to get to there quicker. Do your little YouTube viral video, and then you get your job. Yeah. You know, like the guy that did that. What's that? You know that. I think he was at the Brits. I didn't actually watch it, but
Nathan Evans. Evans. Yeah, the sea shanty. Yeah. He did a TikTok.
Yeah, sea shanty. Yeah. So yeah, but interesting though. But why is it though that we stop believing in those things? What happens? I mean, I'm in a younger age, so I haven't got kids yet. As you know from last week's episode, I mentioned that I'm going to be having a baby. Fingers crossed, comes out all right. Do you think that's going to change perspective?
Yes.
There's only two types of people in the world, Ricky: people with kids and people without kids. There's no one else. There's no one else. You know. So
it'd be interesting if I mark history now by saying like what my dreams are, and then we'll revisit this in like a couple of years' time when I go, yeah, it didn't really happen.
7 years of sleep deprivation can do a lot to a man.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was watching a TikTok last night about the effects that having a baby has on a man, and you will instantly wear branded t-shirts and sweatpants for the rest of your life. You'll wake up at before 6 a.m. for at least the next 10 years.
Fact.
Yeah, fact. Yeah. And Danielle will just, well, let's not get into what women.
Yeah. That's, Well, I've already started to put on the weight.
That stuff that you enjoyed before kids is now confined to the history books. You know, it's something you'll read about in Encyclopedia Britannica.
You'll be selling your skateboard for a Kia Picanto.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Well, I'll share something that I wanted to be then. When I was a kid, I think I shared some on my Instagram posts. I wanted to be a policeman. I was quite a chubby boy. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. I am a chubby boy. When I was younger, I was quite a bit chubby, and my brother, who actually went into the forces, we went out one day, and he said, "Come on then, Rick, come with me. If you want to be a policeman, you've got to get fit." So I thought, okay, well, I'll have a jog. He was on his bike, and we were riding one day. He was on his bike, and he said, "Rick, put your hand there on the handlebar." I went, "Yeah, all right, Paul, no worries." Put my hand on there, and then he slammed his hand down onto my hand and glued it, kind of handed it there onto the side of his obviously his handlebar, and he started to bite past. And he said, "Ricky, if you want to be a policeman, you can't be chubby, mate. You got to chase after those bad guys." And then he started to pedal off really fast, and I had to run going after him,
like Marty McFly in Back to the Future when Biff held on to him on the side. Is your life? Are you basically Marty McFly?
I am.
Great Scott!
Yes, world exclusive. Yeah, well, yeah, I play the guitar, I skateboard. I'd like to say I'm cool, but that would be really arrogant, wouldn't it?
We're all cool in our own way. Everyone's cool in their own way. You're allowed that.
Yeah, that's true. But I never really dreamed to be a magician. That was never my dream. It just kind of happened naturally. I don't think I have like a thing I want to do. I think I'm quite like, we've shared this before, haven't we? Like, I'm quite one of these people that if I want to do something, I'll just go do it. So everything I've ever done in my life, like whether it was, and this again, this isn't to sound arrogant or anything, but I can play drums, guitar, keyboard, I can skateboard. I can't do it to the extreme expert level. I can do it to a comfortable level. But the reason I do it is just because I want to. But I think that there's so many people that will hold you back because of what you might look like, your perception, or it's difficult. But I've never really had that filter. I just will go out and do it. I don't care if I fail because I'm quite happy to mess it up and learn from it.
As a parent now, so my kids are young, 7, 5 and 3. The ridiculousness from learnt behaviour, from things adults say to children as I sit there, including myself. I'm not sitting there going, I'm perfect. And these things that sometimes you say just because you haven't thought about it or you don't know what else to say and you say it. That's one of the worst ones, I think. It is crazy. You can literally see these, and we're quite big in our family. We push the you can do whatever you want type stuff, right? You can do whatever you want. You're a machine. I probably push it a little bit too far at times, right? But even then you still see the whole be careful, don't do that come out. And like I say, once again, we're quite, Emily goes, what's the worst that can happen? And I go, what, they break a leg? So what? Let them do it type thing. And I'm one of those dads. But even so, you still see these things come in from such a young age. It's and then the education system. Don't get me started on that. That can be my episode next week, the education system, and I will rant for 45 minutes. So
that's an interesting point, isn't it? Because once you start becoming an adult, as a kid, you're invincible, aren't you? You'll learn how to ride a bike, you fall off, you get back on, you carry on, you do all these wonderful things, and then you just start to slowly disappear, don't you?
Yeah, school destroys you, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's getting on his soapbox already.
I know. I've got angry. I've literally, a red mist has come out. I believe that kind of,
he's gone.
I know,
he's gone.
When you hit about 8 or 9 in school, up until about 15, 16, I don't feel it is a very positive experience. Now, I'm not saying you're not having fun, and I'm not saying you're not having fun with your mates, and I'm not saying all those things, but I don't feel it is the best experience for development of a character. And someone I once said,
what would you do instead, Alan?
Oh, so we are fully on board with the homeschooling principle. We're just not in a position to do it. But the thing is, so we're of the age where homeschooling is still frowned upon and looked like it's for weird hippie types, right? We are of that age. But the reality is it's far, far different nowadays. It's absolutely the right thing to do. Because the education system, our kids are still being taught. I'll come back. I promise I will get off my soapbox. Our kids are still being taught to a principle, right, that's been around since 1800s, this education system. They put sticking plaster over sticking plaster on top of something that's actually broken and needs reinventing. One of my favourite sort of memes about the education system is where there's like a tortoise, a bat, an elephant and a monkey, and they go, today's test is now climb a tree. Clearly the only one able to climb the tree is the monkey, right? So I discussed this last week. We're all different. My takeaway last week was all different.
I've just got that metaphor, by the way. I've just got it in my head.
Oh, right, sorry. So if we're all different, why do we try and funnel us all through the same system? Because we're not, we're different. And the next thing is, and I'm not dissing teachers, please do not send me emails going, Alan, you're a donut. I'm not dissing teachers, but the fact of the matter is teachers are still human. So we're entrusting our children to be taught by these humans who may not be the right person for the job, may be having a bad day, maybe this, maybe that. And they
may have an alcohol problem.
May have other issues that appear in the media every now and then. And we go, there we go, darling. Go and spend 10 years in this system that's broken and run by people who may not be the best people for the job. What the heck's that? Or spend 10 years with us as your parents. Now, don't get me wrong. You need to go through an element of self-development, I think, as a parent, if you're going to do this. I'm going to stop. Do you know what? I'm going to stop because I've gone off on
No, I
that.
like it. I like it. I like this.
You know, if you're going to homeschool as a parent, you need to go through your own self. Well, you said you like it. I promise I'll finish. You need to
No, I like it. I like it.
Alan, I'll tell you what, though, Alan, it's a great conversation because I've shared this recently about. I wish the things that I'm starting to learn now in my 30s. I wish I was taught at school. There was nothing about money, financing. Tax? What was tax at school? Who taught you about that? You know, who taught you how to run your own business? You were just taught to leave school.
They teach you Pythagoras theorem. What do they?
I was just about to say
statistics. Yeah, statistics. I can't think of a day where I've gone to Tesco's and go, hang on a minute, let me just recall my memory of statistics. Yes, I need to give you 20p.
Yeah.
You know?
What's the fraction for baked beans? You know, where's the real world? So.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Now,
Billy has 8
apples.
Second.
Yes, yeah. Well, just going back a second, interesting that you both said that you wanted to be presenters. Now, I didn't really say, but I've kind of become a bit of a presenter. I wasn't really the kind of person, I guess, at school. I was an emo kid. I had long hair down here, guitar, into like emo music and all that sort of thing, skateboarding, bit of a punk rocker vibe sort of thing.
I saw you with a perm, actually. But
it did look like a perm.
I've had a perm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've had a perm before. When I was about 15, 16, I had a perm.
Hashtag OnlyFans. We will put that in the Patreon group for you. Yes.
I really wanted tight, small curls when I was younger.
Can we make that the trailer artwork for this?
Matt with a perm.
All three of us with a perm. Photoshop perm.
I think we should.
That's got to be the artwork.
Sorry, but I interrupted your presentation.
Yes.
Sorry, that's an episode in itself. Hairstyle.
Yes, yeah.
I used to have a German helmet haircut, right, when I was about 18. Right, basically, my hair was that bad. This is true. Right, very good.
Hashtag Hitler again.
Right. My mum cut my hair for years, and the kids at school used to call me Frankenstein, right? And I told my mum this, and she's like, I'm sorry, but, you know, my mum now in her 30s, when I was young, was a hairdresser when she was 16, so clearly she knew what to do, right? And so my mum cut my hair, and eventually I went, no, Mum, I'm going to get it done myself now at the barbers or hairdressers. I didn't know any different. It's Andover, 1986 or something. And so basically, long story short, I never got my hair cut because I didn't know what to get done. And eventually it grew, and my mates used to say, your hair looks like you're wearing a German helmet from World War II. So that's what my then nickname was for a little bit.
Did it have a spike on the top as well then?
No, I just looked terrific, and then wonder why I wasn't very good with the girls, you know, in the mid-90s. So there we go. Right.
Well, Alan, I had a bright yellow chunk on my fringe because I thought it was cool. It took about 3 years to grow out, yeah. But anyway, just going back, sorry,
your presenter story.
Segue back, yeah. You all said about being presenters, and we are naturally kind of turned into presenters, haven't we? I'm a magician, I'm a performer, I'm a speaker. Matt presents in his sales coaching on his Instagram. Alan, you're a natural born presenter anyway.
Hello.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, as a kid, I loved watching, you know, like game shows and TV shows. And 1 second. Did you hear that?
Yes.
That is the segment, a little segue for the weekly segment for a new game show for the Free Men Podcast.
Oh, yes. I love this.
We have a great...
You put some work into this episode, Ricky.
Yeah. Damn, I'm next week. I better do something.
We'll just listen to that. It's great. This is called Sax Partay.
Are we allowed to? Have we got copyright for this tune?
Yes, I own the rights.
Right,
I was going to use Chuckle Vision, and I changed it to Hesitation. Hesitation, but I didn't want to get sued. So anyway, look, guys, this is because we want to grow up. So as a kid, I wanted to be a presenter, and I loved watching game shows. I loved it, and we're going to play a game. Alan versus Matt. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'm well on board with this. I need a prop.
Well, you're going to love it.
I need
two games for you, actually. No, it's all right, actually. Well, this is going to test your presenting skills, I guess, and your brains as well. But it's called the Hesitation Game. I haven't copyrighted that at all, but hopefully we don't get sued.
Didn't Timmy Mallet do something like this?
I don't know.
Oh, you're 10 years younger than us.
Yes. So it's basically a very quick fire round. I'm going to ask each of you 10 questions. You cannot say yes, no, or hesitate. If you hesitate for more than 1 or 2 seconds, I ring the bell, you are out of the game. So
here we go.
So
you said that you want to be presenters.
One life only, yeah, one life only.
Do you know, I always look at game shows like The Chase and all those types of things, and I think, I can answer these questions, but when you're in the moment, I'm starting to get nervous, and I don't think I'm going to...
I'm getting my meditation on ready. I'm in the zone.
Well, for podcast listeners, I had no idea that Alan and Matt both said they wanted to be presenters, and I thought, do you know what I'm going to do for this podcast? I'm going to bring like a radio game show into it. So this is just perfect. We're building rapport once again, lads. But anyway, Alan, Matt, who wants to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, okay, Matt, you said it.
Okay, so it's going to be quick fire, Alan. All right, 10 questions.
Can we have
you
a
cannot say yes or no.
Oh, so Matt's going
and
first.
You cannot
right.
hesitate.
I'll be quiet.
Was Matt going
So
first?
Yeah.
Do I have to do? So is it 10 questions straight off the bat? I just need to get the rules clarified, or is it me a question, Alan a question, me a question?
No. So we'll do it all 10 for Matt and then all 10 for Alan.
And then the second you hesitate, that's what you get. So if you hesitate on question 1, you got 1. Right, fine.
That's it, yeah. So this might go on for a little bit further, so we'll see. But I've got another game as well called What's in the Bag. So we'll play that after. Anyway, here's the rules. There are 10 questions, Matt. You cannot say yes, no. You can't hesitate. And I'm going to throw a four for all in. You can't repeat the answer.
Okay.
So Matt's going to be really quick fire. Are you ready?
I was born ready, Ricky.
Okay, all right.
Was that question 1?
Oh, that was good, actually. No, that wasn't. I should have done a sneaky test there, wouldn't it? As soon as I commence the bell, the round will start. Are you ready, Matt?
Yes.
Let's talk about musical instruments. Can you play the violin?
Definitely not.
Or can you play the piano?
Sometimes I've tried to learn that.
Hang on, Alan's waving at me. He didn't say...
He said,
no.
He started the answer to
did
question 1 with
Oh, I
Hang on, this is my round, Alan Braithwaite.
Should I be supporting you? Well done, Matt.
Right.
I wanted to interrupt to say well done, Matt.
Okay.
Do you know, it's very difficult when you don't know the style of questions that are going to come at you. You just
We'll
know that you're going to be asked a question.
I'm going to change the questions around. Okay, so we're going to say then no yes, no... no, yes, no and
this
no
is such a good quiz.
Right, are you ready? Are you ready? Seamless. All right. As soon as I commence the bell,
You haven't pressed. Oh, you pressed the bell.
Your round will begin, Matt. Are you ready, Matt?
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, that wasn't part of the question. Sorry. All right, here we go. Are you ready? God, we should do Christmas party, shouldn't we? This would be brilliant. Christmas party episode. All right, I'm going to press the bell. Here we go, Matt. I like baths, don't you?
The place?
Oh, that's hesitation. That is.
No,
that was
it's
hesitation.
not. I was trying
you
to
took
think of
ages
with the
to
answer.
respond. I think that was more than 1 second. All right, Matt.
I've got
I'll let
delay
you
the
carry
line.
on.
Delay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
I'll let you carry on then, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, Matt. Are you ready? God, the audio on this is going to be terrible. Me screaming. Isn't it? Here we go. I like baths, don't you?
Sometimes when I travel there, I do. Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, I said yes.
I have to say, this is really fast. It's like there's no room for error here. I'm nervous. I'm not sitting here feeling smug. I just want you to know that, Matt.
Okay.
I'm sitting here.
So-
I think in order to allow us a little bit of breathing space, because I'm literally not taking a breath, I think we should do alternate questions. This is like a live production meeting on air.
Ricky's game.
For any studio execs listen to this, then please direct your mail to. Have we got an email address yet? That's next on the list. Yeah.
hello@threemenononlyfans.com. No, we don't own that domain name, so no, don't send it there.
All right. So are we gonna? Well, I think we should give Alan the 10 first, and then we'll do an alternate. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Basically,
Alan?
if I get past 2, then we go for another round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm going to go through all 10 now, Alan.
By
see
the
if you can
way,
do it.
those
You ready?
questions were really tricky. Can you ask them a bit slower? Right, go. I'm ready.
So that you can, yeah. All right, Alan. When I commence the bell, we will begin. Are you ready?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Do you dream when you're asleep?
Sometimes. It's really tricky.
It's really hard.
Okay. Do you want me to slow down?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, are you ready?
You're like a machine gun.
All right, Alan. When I commence the bell, the round will begin. Are you ready?
Okay.
Do you dream when you're asleep?
Of your mum.
Oh, you bugger. Right. Okay. All right, I'm going to... Right, you wait now. You wait. Are you ready? Okay. When I commence the bell, the round will...
Are we not?
continue.
We're not. No, we're in a round. You're currently hesitant. Surely we're just
So
on
I'm going to
question
follow
2.
on. Okay, I'm going to follow on from that question, which was, do you dream when you're asleep? And you said...
Of your mother.
Really?
All the time.
Do you think dreams actually mean anything?
If you want them to.
Some people say that they can see the future in their dreams. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, for goodness sake. It's really, even, I'm sitting there, I was about to go, of course, and I'm like, no, I need to structure the sentence. So,
Oh, fantastic.
That's
do you want to rotate it? Do you want to rotate it? Should we do alternate then, Matt and Alan?
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, I've got to be careful. I don't hold these cards up because we'll probably get sued. All right.
I also, after the quiz, I'd like us to actually go back to what we want to do. If we accept
Yes.
that well, peace and family is all okay. You know, if we were magic wand stuff, what would we do for the rest of our lives? Yeah.
Honestly, though.
Well, this is the segment in the show that keeps people listening, so we'll come back to that, listeners. So
and it's
keep
so
listening to
slick
this,
and
yes.
amazing, this part.
It is seamless, isn't it? This one. All right. Okay. So
this is perfect social media material.
It is, isn't it? Right.
I got a game for next week. I've got to come up with something for next week now.
yeah, this is we've only taken 5 episodes to get a segment. Anyway, right. So this time, when I commence the bell, we'll go first to Alan, then it's to Matt, then Alan, then Matt. But I'm not going to say Alan, Matt. You've just got to be ready. All right? Are you ready?
Born
Alan's
ready,
first.
like Matt said.
So Alan, Matt, Alan, Matt. Okay, Alan, are you ready?
Of course.
I bet your star sign's Leo. Am I right?
Virgo.
I am right, aren't I?
I'm a Scorpio.
Well, this is quite difficult, actually, the way the questions are framed, isn't it, to do that?
I'm still a Virgo.
Are we still
That wasn't the
playing
question,
game?
but do you know what made me say Leo?
Is it my go?
Yeah, that's it's harder, isn't it, to do it between two? I think we should just stick to the 10 to 10. Yeah.
Why don't we just
All right.
go? I got 3, Matt got 2, and you know.
Yeah.
Alan wins.
Well, I'll tell you what.
What's in the bag?
No. At the end of the day, fun is the winner.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you one round because it's not going to last very long because you can't get past 2 or 3 questions. So I'll give you one more round each, and then we'll do what's in the bag, and we'll come back to the question. All right. So Matt, are you ready? We're going to give you 10 quick-fire questions. Are you ready?
But slowly. We've got to have a chance to
okay.
actually have a think.
Slowly.
I've got to listen to the question, Ricky. You've got to delay
Okay.
it.
Matt, as soon as I commence the bell, the round will begin. Are you ready, Matt?
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready to go?
I'm always born ready.
No, I mean, are you ready to start?
On the finish line.
So shall we do it?
Always.
You ready to start playing?
I am playing.
So I'll ask you some questions. Is that how it works?
You're asking the questions and I'm giving the answers.
And then you answer them?
That's what I'm doing.
Do you ask me questions as well?
If you want to.
Okay, so it's just me asking you then.
I think so.
And you have to avoid saying certain words?
Yes.
Oh, Matt! I don't, 9. You got to 9 there.
I don't
Very
think
good,
I'd have
Matt.
got that far, Matt. That was pretty
That was
good,
good.
mate.
That was
You
good.
were steely. You must have been a sniper back in the day.
Yes.
I was focused then. I was focused. I see. This is what I had
That's
a
good.
break between, and I knew the style of the.
I have to
move
say,
on.
the style of the
Okay.
questions are tricky. I thought you were going to be asking things like, has an elephant got 4 legs? You know, I didn't
Sorry,
think it
yeah.
wasn't going to be, you know, I didn't think I was going to have a chance for a mum joke in there. If I'm
Sorry,
honest.
yeah. Very, very well played there, Alan. Very well played. All right, Alan, your
Matt.
final round then. Are you ready?
Of course.
Alan, as soon as I commence the bell, your round will begin. Are you ready?
Born ready, like Matt said, Ricky.
Who chooses your clothes?
My mum.
Your mum.
And who pays for them?
My dad.
What's your best item of clothing?
Rubbish yellow stuff.
You honestly like that?
Of course. Love it.
You don't
Love a
think it makes you
yellow.
look a bit silly?
Ricky, I love yellow. I think it's just so bright and happy and sunshine. And no, I don't think I look silly.
So that's what you choose to wear?
Every day.
Every day?
Of course.
How about if I chose your clothes for you?
I'd be happy with that.
Would you trust me?
Of course.
And do you want to
said
try?
of course.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And I
That's
did
it.
say no. In my spiel, in my decided to give a long answer to buy some time back, I did say no.
That's true. That's true. Well, look, well done, guys. You both failed, but the real winning is trying.
Hey, yeah.
So anyway,
we
the
never
second-
fail. We always learn.
So the second game. All right, hang on. Let's just get a bit of some
We're
music
playing-
on again.
we're
Are you
playing-
ready?
Can I just say, we're playing a game called What's in the Bag with a magician.
Also,
Yes, that's true.
if we were in a
Yes.
pub right now, I'd be really nervous about putting my hand in something.
Yes. So we're describing this for if you're listening to the audio, not watching this on YouTube. I'm holding a probably like
A brown paper bag.
It is a brown paper.
I mean,
bag.
I
Yes,
don't want to
well
put
done.
it out.
Yes.
I don't want to suggest it's something it
is.
isn't.
I was going to say like it's about the size of it's about A4, isn't it? A4. But you got 3 questions, gents, each to work out what's in the bag, and I'll answer them as best I can.
Hold on.
Without
So
revealing any clues.
alternate. So we got 6 questions between us, but someone's going to go first. So second,
yeah, 3 each.
So second place
each.
would technically have an advantage because they'll already have the answer to the first question.
I think we should alternate.
I think we should alternate. But rock, paper, scissors for who goes first?
Do you know what? You know what?
Oh, hold on. Ricky's in.
I'm just thinking, because we played the hesitation yes or no game, maybe we should have the answers as yes or no. Should I just give you the answers as yes or no, or should I just let you have your questions? It's supposed to be my game. I should know this.
Your game, your rules.
Just ask your questions. Just ask your questions, and I'll answer as best I can.
We don't know what's in the
But
bag, Ricky.
It can't be direct, like proper open question, like what's in the bag, Ricky. You can't answer questions like that. Okay. All right. Who wants to go first?
What's not in the bag, Ricky?
What's not in the bag?
No, that's not one of my
mum.
questions.
Yes. Okay.
Does the item in the bag mean something to you?
Yes. Alan.
Is it an animal, vegetable, or mineral?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to add some really tense music to the bed of this.
We should have the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that boom, boom, you know, that real pressure music.
Is it an inanimate object?
No.
Well, it has to be because it's not an animal or a
Well,
vegetable,
yes.
so it's got to be an
Sorry.
inanimate object.
It was Matt's phrase in there that threw me off. I went, what? Yeah. Yes, then, Matt.
I also, I'm discussing with Matt here. For those who can't see this, the bag doesn't exactly look like it's under stress or strain, which leads me, and very narrow, right? So leads me to think that whatever's in it is quite small and very light. So if you know what it is, please do shout at your chosen podcast listening device right now. Right, so it's an inanimate object. It means something to you. If it's inanimate, you can't do anything with it. So I'm thinking like it's a picture or a card or something. Because
I should say you can. It's something to use. There you go.
so then it's not an inanimate object.
Yeah.
So you've been lying to us all throughout this quiz.
Sorry.
And it's
It
not
is something
your
that's
mum.
important to me.
It's something important.
No, something that's important to me.
And you can do so. So I'm like, all right, is it a magic wand?
No, it's not.
Is it related to magic?
No. All right. I'll give you another. I'll give you one more question each, but try to make it open. So an open question. So I can't say yes or no.
Okay. What's in the bag, Ricky?
No, you can't say that one. That was the rule at the start.
What colour is the item in the bag?
It's mainly black, and it's got lots of orange and blue on it as well.
Is it a bouncy ball?
It isn't. No.
I am thinking it's like a pen, a card, a bouncy ball, a notebook, or something like that. Is it any of them?
Is that
Ricky?
your question?
Yeah.
No,
My
it's
question
not.
is it any of them? Is it merch?
No,
Yeah.
okay.
Is this just a big plug for your new merch or your book or something?
It's for our brand new 3 Men in Podcast merchandise. Yeah. No, it's not. Unfortunately. Would you like to see what's in the bag?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought this would go a lot. This would go better, but it hasn't. Okay, you ready? It is the 1992 classic Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Sega Mega Drive game.
How the heck were we ever going to get that?
With questions were poor.
Yeah,
That's
no, we
why.
had 6 questions. We would need, and I think on a technicality that is an inanimate object.
Well, true. Yeah. Well, it's a classic. Classic. It's important to me. There you go. Good game. There you go. So let's segue.
You know, I always said we should never edit these podcasts. I'm now starting to think slightly different.
Yes, maybe we should. Yes. Well, I think so. The reason I've done that is because as a kid, I was obsessed by video games and game shows. And that's kind of why I think I've become more of a presenter. You know, I speak, I host stuff, I do online shows. I think that probably was the secret to what then led to what I do now.
What, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah. I love video games. I would love to have been a video game designer.
Are you a gamer now, Ricky?
Yeah, I play like PlayStation every now and then. Yeah, when I can. Yeah.
Are you a gamer?
Yeah, I love it.
Alan?
Not in any way. I own. I think it's a PS4. I don't really know what it is. The one with the Blu-ray, the first one with the Blu-ray player, and it's only there as a Blu-ray player. And even then,
That's PS3, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
No, it's a 4.
And then it's probably not been switched on It's probably been used once in 7 years because we stream everything. Someone bought us a DVD, one of the kids a DVD for Christmas, and the kids didn't know what it was. And I'm okay with this. Is not one of those I think they need to know what it is. I'm okay with this because we stream everything like Netflix, YouTube, Prime, Disney Plus, iPlayer. I just stream all day, every day. So I've got onto another rant, haven't I? But yeah, you know, when they're older, they can learn about history and C90 tapes and winding it back with a pencil and stuff. So.
Do you know, when you look back, do you see some markers about how you were going to progress as an adult? Because when I was at school, my school report said that I was always disruptive and liked socializing too much and all that type of stuff. But and my grades reflected the fact that I don't like writing too much. My English speaking exam, I got an A star because I was able to stand up and talk away and do all of that type of stuff. What are you counting, Alan?
My GCSEs, I can remember them, and I was just running. I remember my GCSE grades from 1994. So
yeah, I so the only A I got was in English speaking, and I got a. So it's very funny because I've worked within a scientific industry, so water treatment, and then into valves, which is pressure and all that type of stuff, and I got a double U in science because I didn't turn up with a calculator. So.
Failed at the first hurdle. So my only GCSE A, 1994 Winton School, Andover, is in drama, interestingly. So I got 1A, 1B, 2Cs, 5Ds. My A was drama, my B was maths. I think my C's, I got a feeling one was business studies and the other one was one of the Englishes, and then D in everything else, French, science, whatever, history.
Was that just through application? Because I think if I went back now, and obviously I'm a 40-year-old man, I think if I went back now and took my GCSEs, I'd get better grades.
Of course, but then that takes us back to the education system being broken, Matt.
Yeah.
Why are we doing tests at 14 for the rest of our life? 15 for the rest of our life? And if
you know, no one has ever judged me on a job application on my GCSE status.
What about your national record of achievement? Did you ever go to a job interview with a national? Do you even know what? Oh, you kidding? Did you have one, Matt? You were similar age?
I had one, yeah, with a little purple book.
Oh, ours was a brown folder. Yeah. So,
yeah.
So to prepare us...
I think I had a similar thing to that, but I don't think it was called that.
Oh, they must have redesigned it every year. But to prepare us, Ricky, for the modern world outside of the education system, we were made to write crud letters in my 15-year-old bad handwriting because we didn't have computers, and list our GCSE results. So when we went for an interview, we showed them this, which we all now know means nothing at all, means nothing. And if you want to do it, just go and do it. So basically.
Yeah.
I truly believe, though, that children today would get more out of a short stint of national service where they learn discipline and they learn home skills where they can iron and clean themselves and cook and all that type of stuff. I think children would get far more out of that than spending 3 years in a classroom learning about Pythagoras, exactly what Alan said, because it's socializing, it's making sure that you can live in the real world. Because the amount of people that I used to know, and probably if I was in those circles would still know now, who don't know how to cook, who don't know how to put a washing machine on. And this is societal problems. I mean, this is we're getting deep on the podcast now, but I think that's the stuff that we should be teaching, like life skills, proper life skills because everybody aspires to leave home. That's what we want to do. We want to get away from our parents. So we need to learn how to do that.
I agree. Yeah. Now, I think the education system would say it's on the parents, but then once again, this is too generalist. You know, we have these models built on a very small number of kind of individuals that don't really cater for everyone in the entire kind of country and system. So yeah, I think you'd be better. But so look, I'm 42. We talked about this. I left school when I was 15 years old. I went and did something. I didn't really go to college. It was called New Horizons. So it was like what's it called now, where you like apprenticeship, that sort of thing, but not quite that. They're basically, I was slave labour. I got paid like £30 a week at 15 years old, something like that. And and you did get a bit more of applied sort of learning. This is proper deep, isn't it? But I think I agree with Matt. Now, I'm not a fan of the shouting that comes from armed forces, and we're happy to discuss shouting another time. I'm more about coaching and development rather than breaking down and building up, etc. But I do agree perhaps 6 months in something like that would help. See, I went to Cubs. I was in Beavers from 6 years old. And Beavers, Cubs, Scouts, Venture Scouts.
Too many jokes.
Too many jokes, not enough time. So we had to do that. You know, at 10 years old, I was on a camp washing up badly. Granted, you know, I'm not saying I was a pro at 10, but I was in a position where we had to do these skills. And you know, at 10, well, in 1989, it was a very particular. There was nothing else. That's what you did. So.
Anyway, I can't remember what the original question was. Wasn't it about the was it the points? Yeah. Oh, there was points, wasn't it, Matt? You said about points when we were younger.
Oh yes. So the question was there a point at which, or when you look back now, is there a point that you can identify and say that's who I was going to be? Because when I look back and I was a gobshite at school, could stand up in front of people and talk, and I was able to bring people together into my little circle. That's exactly what I do as an adult, and that's what I'm good at. I disagree with Alan because I was broken down and then built back up as a man because I was able to do that type of stuff in the army. And I think we've talked about that on the leadership episode, where there's two different types of people that need an arm around the shoulder and can be brought along on the journey, and there's people that can be smashed down and then built back up.
We're all different, aren't we?
Yeah.
But I think you need to have a different approach. But yeah, was there a point for you?
Yeah, there was for me. Yeah, I think it was... there's a few points in my life from at school and after school where it was being in front of a crowd. So we won the Year 11 talent show. We did a cover of Green Day's American Idiot, but we did it as a style of the Ramones. So my bassist who sang it like Joey Ramone. So it was like screaming the lyrics, real punk vibe. And we won. And I think that was the first moment where I was like, I like being in front of a crowd. This is really cool. And then obviously there was a couple of key moments when I went into my career where I was either presenting or leading teams. So it was always in front of people. That extrovert self was that spark, I think, that later turned on to what I do now. So
here's a question. I don't think there's one point, but I can certainly see elements of, like, I always enjoyed standing up and presenting, like when I was in employment and everything else. So is there something where you look back now, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, where you go, I could have sped this up a lot quicker? You know, could you go, I could actually have saved 10 years here and done this instead? And that, you know, without jumping on the education system a bit more, like, actually you go, I could have saved 10 years by just doing that to there. And you know, so what would you do? What would you suggest to people how could we save everyone 10 years? That's my next question.
This is why I got into coaching, because I know now the mistakes that I was making on the way up, especially through sales. Like, I was talking way too much. I was trying to sell all the benefits and all this type of stuff. So now I know that, and I think you only get that with experience and hindsight. So without that, I don't think I'd be in the position I am now. So yes, I could have sped it up, but then I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I take that throughout life. Like, I grew up in foster care. I grew up in children's homes. Without that experience, then I wouldn't be the person I am today and as resilient as I am today. So I take positives. Tony Robbins says that a lot. You have to take everything as a lesson and take it with you, so that when you move on to the next stage of your life, you've got that in your back pocket.
It's a stepping stone, isn't it? It's a stepping stone. That's what it is. Yeah.
So pardon me. So we're saying there is no shortcut to the position you are in today. I like to clarify.
For me, I'd say, I think one of the things is think about, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I've mentioned a lot about coasting in Argos when I had 15 years. Sounds like, you know, that's crazy. That's half of my lifetime.
I coasted.
You know, and then I had 15 years at school.
I have a job where I absolutely coasted in for years, you know, because I didn't know what to do, or was scared, or fear, or whatever cliche title you want to give it. That happened. Yeah.
I think I think growth from risk, and you have to take risks. If you're sat in a job, or you're sat in a position, or in any place or in your life, and I'm not talking about relationships. I know you take risks in your relationship. Been there, done that. That's fallout material.
Episode 1, that was, wasn't it? Yeah.
But in order to move to the next stage, you need to take risks. So I was sat in a job exactly the same as you, Alan, and only by leaving that job and taking a new job and pushing myself harder did I find growth. And from that growth has come more comfort, and then grow again, which is why I then started Sales Change, because I wanted to grow further. So now I'm running my own business, not just growing somebody else's. So, yeah, I think you need to take risks everywhere.
Yeah, agreed. I'm the same with that. I think a lot of my positions that I did in my retail career was risk. I didn't know what it was going to do. I didn't, but I just did it. And it's like what I said earlier on about learning musical instruments and stuff. It's about taking that risk. I do wish, though, that there's probably a period in the middle of my career that I wish that was quicker. I think I got too comfortable thinking that this is the life. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get money. I'm going to go out on a night out. But then realising now, what are the finer things in life that you want, or the most important things? And so, yeah.
And doesn't that bring us full circle? Because when Alan was talking about kids and we've got no boundaries and no fears, isn't that our inner child? Because we need to constantly take risks and push ourselves.
And as adults, we tell kids not to take risks, and we should be actually encouraging them to take risks.
We just had the...
That is the moment. That's it. We can quit. We're happy. We're done.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
Thanks for listening. See you next year.
Well, you know what? That's a perfect segue to wrap this up then, because I think that's genius, that is.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I don't think we've actually answered the question, what do we want to be to grow up? But as we do at the end of every episode, we have 3 takeaways, 1 takeaway each. We've been obviously having doubles, though, haven't we, recently? But 1 takeaway from each of this podcast. Matt.
Just pointing to
Alan. I was going to say pointing to Matthew McConaughey.
What can I do as a takeaway that's not what Matt just said? My takeaway is rewind about 45, 50 seconds and listen to Matt going on about basically encourage our children to take risks. That's it.
Yes.
And that's what Matt said. That's not my moment. I'm reiterating what Matt said probably about 90 seconds ago now.
Okay, my point is rewind about 15 seconds and listen to what Alan said.
That was repeating what Matt said. Yeah.
Mine is kind of that, but also try everything. Don't just try one thing and think, I want to be a superstar DJ. I've tried it, done it, and I enjoyed it. And that's where the podcast came from, because the podcast was just fulfilling that itch that I wanted to get back into audio and present. And this is... Did you just ding the bell like to say time's up?
Sorry, Matt. Sorry.
It's like fighting talk on Radio 5 Live where they have 10 seconds to defend the indefensible. Anyway, it's just find something that will scratch that itch and just continue doing it. This is what this is all about: video, audio, and just follow your dream.
I have to say, I agree. So one of my coasting periods, I used to say, well, why would I go and do something else? This is okay. Like, literally, listen to me now. This is okay. I will stay here until I think of something else to do. In what ridiculousness, because it was safe and everything else. So, agreed, Matt.
Yeah, and I agree with you both. Same as I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try lots of different things and see what you enjoy, because there's so many things out there. I think that just blindsiding yourself by just focusing on one direction, take risks, try new stuff.
I've got Harry Styles in my head now.
Well, there we go, guys. Yeah, great. So this is going to be an interesting podcast, isn't it? Because when we put the detail of it, we start going into a great subject to a silly quiz, to a very serious, mind-blowing moment where I think we've solved the what's the
meaning of life.
We have solved the meaning of life in this episode. So, guys, thank you for listening. Alan, thank you. And Matt, thank you as well. Don't forget listeners to head over to Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Leave us a review. 5 stars, please. We want 5 stars. That would be preferably better. And, share this podcast to more people.
We've got to do all that stuff. Subscribe and all of that.
And subscribe
check us out on OnlyFans if we're there yet.
Yes, #OnlyFans. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Matt's... what was the picture on OnlyFans?
Close-knit perm, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell you what, very quickly. So when you were talking... I've lost it now. When you were talking and preparing the quiz, I was scrolling through my phone frantically trying to find pictures. Because when I first met Tina, I actually had strong blonde highlights. And I mean strong. Do you know I wanted them tipped, but they weren't tipped. This was like...
How long have you been with Tina then? Because, this is a 90s haircut you're talking about.
Yeah, so if I show you that picture on... you probably can't see it.
Podcasters definitely can't see it. But don't worry, podcasters, we can't see it either.
Should we describe it, Alan, to our podcast listeners?
No, this is where we put it on OnlyFans for them to go over. Subscribe.
This is where we put it on the blog.
I like the fact we finished the podcast and we're still talking.
Yes.
I like it, Matt.
Is that you in your Nissan Micra?
No, that is me in my kitchen. There's another picture which is even worse, but I'll put it on the blog post. There you go. Look at this one.
Wow.
I like it.
Man,
that is
fantastic.
terrible. Yeah.
Well, on that bombshell, thanks for listening, guys. We'll join you next week. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave us a lovely review. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.